Hey, there we are. Look at that. Was that dramatic enough for you, Jeremy Daly? Did you like that? I know you did your whole, you did your whole serverless video. What about that?
I know that was pretty good. I agree. I mean, I've been knocked out of the top spot. That's fine. That's fine.
It happens a lot. Hey, here we are. Look, and this is just some of the folks coming to the party. I'm so glad you guys are here. Obviously, you see the DAs around here. We got Stefano, we got Jeremy, Julian, James, and Rob, and myself, Sam the Squirrel. We decided that Sam had to come to the party. In fact, Jeremy, I think it was your tweet that kind of prompted this, that said, right, man, we got to have a Sam at the... So I said, you know what, let's throw a little party. So we did. So I got to tell you, just a few moments ago, one of my children did something mean to one of my other children, so I had to go up and be dad. And it takes all the thunder out of it, all the wind out of your sails when you run up and you're scolding your child in a squirrel. She sat there laughing. So, yeah, that lost something. So... Jeremy, I'm going to start with you, and then we're gonna be rotating some other folks in here. We got Jay's going to drop in on us later. We got Emily Shea. Look, I'm going to throw Emily in. Hey, there's Emily Shea. Hey, Emily! I think I threw her in before she was ready. Hey, Emily, are you ready? Because you're here.
Yeah. There was a deer in headlights.
Yeah. You got to be quick here, okay?
I'm on it.
And I will cut you out as soon as I cut you in. So just no, I'm just kidding. So glad you're here.
Suit, that's very threatening.
Yeah. Well, you just missed my story of scolding my child in a squirrel suit. So, hey, yeah, it was crazy. Hey, I'm gonna turn to Jeremy. Jeremy, this is the reInvent party. Tell me about last year's reInvent party. How did that come around?
I mean, listen, if you weren't at last year's reInvent party, you weren't at reInvent. I mean, let's just be honest about that and upfront. I mean, it was amazing. We had so many people there. I actually have, I don't know if I can tilt the camera without shaking too much. I have the banner from last year. We had some amazing sponsors there. Anybody remembers, I had my white coat on that everyone signed over here. We all had those all signed. Right, good picture there as well. Yeah, it was just great. We had a whole bunch of people from AWS. We had all kinds of customers and heroes. And I mean, Jeff stopped by, Adrian Cockcroft stopped by. It was just, I mean, Werner didn't come, but I mean, what are you gonna do? But it was great. We had an awesome time, and I mean, there's just a lot of pictures and memories, and it's just sad that we couldn't do it in person this year. But next year will be a thing, and we'll be right back at somewhere in the Venetian or somewhere near and throw a big party.
Yeah, I agree. Part of this is, and Rob and I were talking before the stream started. If you've come to this stream for huge amounts of value, if you're looking to learn something here, you are absolutely in the wrong place. What you're going to see here is us just hanging out. Hey, there's Gunnar. How are you?
Gunnar.
Hey.
Yeah. Good to see you. I was just telling folks that this is the wrong place for anything of value other than us just getting together, talking about how much we enjoy each other's company, how much fun we have, and stuff like that.
You're not going to
Emily,
learn.
I'm gonna turn to you real quick here. You have a session. Your session's already gone this week, right?
It has, yeah. Awesome. I tell you what, super nice to have pre-recorded and to be just hanging out and reInvent, no stress. Awesome. But yeah, my session was earlier this week. It was getting started with your first serverless web apps. It was super fun to put together because it was just kind of like following the journey of an app that I've been building in my free time for Chinese vocab words, and just kind of following that from like one Lambda function all the way up into this kind of bigger, complex, multiple DynamoDB tables kind of thing that I've got going now, and being able to kind of share that and like the different kind of concepts and different serverless things that have helped me as I've been like learning along the way. And I've gotten a lot of people. It's been awesome to hear people kind of reach out and say like, hey, this is exactly what I was looking for. I'm super inspired to get into new projects and to start using serverless. And so that's been really fun to see it's getting to the right people.
So you literally learned serverless doing this project, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like when I say I started with a single Lambda function, it's because I didn't know what Dynamo was.
Right.
And so just building over time as I learned, and I was just getting started with AWS. And so it's been fun to evolve over time.
Yeah. We've all been kind of following. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to jump in. I was going to say one thing that I actually love about Emily's about her blog was exactly what it was. It was like this, like I'm just starting, like a single Lambda function, and then I'm going to add this, and like, oh, I want to try something else. I want to add some more functionality, do that, and it just kept on layering and layering. And one of my biggest complaints, this is an AWS thing, but my biggest complaint is I think AWS is making serverless too complex, and it's getting more and more, or it's getting harder for someone to get started with it. So that's a good thing because it solves a lot of problems, but at the same time, it was really, really nice when it was so simple. And what I loved about Emily's done and what I loved about your presentation was the same idea. You're basically saying, like, okay, let's just start small. Like, let's not think about containers and Lambda destinations and all these other things. Let's just start small and build from there. And that's what I love about serverless is that you can really take that incremental approach, and end up building something huge that is really powerful, but starting really, really small.
Hey, I'm going to interrupt her quick. Look who's here. And also added him before he was ready. He's wicked. He's got his wicked shirt on. Imra, how you doing? Coming to us. Yeah, he's in Turkey.
I just jumped into like this thing like a lot earlier than I would expect actually.
I see your face. At it. That's how it happens. So I think Imra, you're our newest serverless hero here.
Yeah, I have that.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. How do you like that? How do you feel about that?
Like it is cold first, but you get used. Like it really feels very nice to be a hero, and just contributing and like being a friend with you and just like letting this revolutionary movement to go or something. And I'm really proud to be part of this, and I'm very happy to be recognized. But even if I don't, like, I will be continuing. I would be continuing to whatever I'm doing, and I will still do this.
Awesome.
Well worth it.
Yeah, well deserved. Yeah, I've known Imra. I got the joy of going out and speaking and hanging out with Imra and eating things I couldn't even identify in Turkey that were so good. And so, awesome. It was really awesome. I had never been there. That was the first time ever I had been stopped by customs and taken in the back room. That scared me to death. That was one of the most, if you haven't heard that story in a nutshell, they held me for, apparently there was another Eric Johnson who did some bad things. So after an hour and a half, I finally asked the guy, I said, let me ask you a question. I said, do you have prints on this guy? And they said, yeah. I said, if he's got more than 2, I'm not your guy. And like 30 seconds later, after a quick panicked phone call, he said, Mr. Johnson, you may go. So Imra's texting me and stuff like that. So, man, we had a great time with that. So, Jeremy, were you one of our first serverless heroes?
No, I was early 2019. Yeah, early 2019. So I think it was like maybe the second batch or the third batch, something like that.
Okay, all righty.
I've been around for a while.
Okay, and then we have one of our newest AWS employees in the room as well. Gunnar, how's it going, bud?
It's good, thanks. Drinking from the fire hose and then jumping straight into reInvent. So. It's intense.
Yeah, I started right before reInvent as well. Here's some encouragement, though, and I think everybody in here can vouch for this. The fire hose never lessens.
That's good.
It only increases. Stefano, you're probably our oldest AWSer here. Are you still drinking from the fire hose?
Totally. And in fact, I think now that I think about it, I met you at reInvent that year, and you were wearing the sand suit. That's how I met you.
You actually took it off.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wear it around. I wear it around the house. It's just comfortable. It's a little warm, but so yeah, it's definitely a fun thing. So Stefano, you're please. I'm just talking. I feel silence. So
no, that's all. I'm just slightly worried because everybody's talking about drinking from the fire hose, but we don't want any more issues with kinesis. So
that's true. Very true.
Drinking from the fire hose.
Yeah, that's right. We're not drinking from the fire hose there. That's exactly right. So yeah, but there's a lot to learn. I mean, external. I know that people think you work for AWS now. You just must know everything. Boy.
Nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that.
I meant people who don't. Okay, thanks, Rob. I appreciate that.
That's what I'm here for.
Nobody believes you know anything, Eric. That's right. So. Stefano, tell us about your new role in your team.
New team. Yeah, we started a team a few months ago now, about 6 months ago, focused entirely on developer tools for serverless. And I think the key insight was that our tools have been hyper-focused on Lambda, making it easier to write code, which is kind of the right thing to do. However, as Jeremy mentioned, the hard part is really the integration, is pulling all the pieces together and making them work together and figuring out why IAM is giving you the error it's giving you and where the damn resource policy is. So that's going to be our focus. That's going to be the focus of our team, making sure that the integration between the services is as easy as possible. The other side is, developers love serverless. And then on the flip side, you have organizations with 500,000 employees who, hey.
Ashim.
Hey there. Nice to see you.
Who use, Jenkins and have practices in place they don't want to change. And so our goal is going to be to make serverless a first-class citizen for them. So that next time the developer who's excited about serverless goes to their operator and says, "Can I please use Lambda for this application?" They don't just go, "Nah," because I don't know how it works with what we have. They can just go, "Yep, go ahead."
Yeah. And Stefano, since I work a lot with Sam, Stefano gets to see me a lot, and I do wear the costume too every meeting, just so they remember who I am.
I'm not convinced he takes it out.
Yeah. And I've seen some comments. Did he wash it? Absolutely. Let me tell you, Simon wore this. So you can be dang sure I washed this, right? Because he was probably eating pineapple pizza when he wore this. So, I brought it home. I've had it sanitized multiple times. James wore it too, but I'm not as bothered by that. So I have removed it when I shower. That is not true. Rob's telling lies and drinking bad LaCroix there. So
That was me. That was somebody else.
Shane, I want to talk to you for a second. You have probably one of the coolest jobs on the face of the planet. I think my job's pretty awesome, but you work with Lego. My kids love you. I'm not kidding you. We have lots of Legos. Of course, Chris Munns has stock because he has so many of your droids and stuff like that. Tell folks what you do at Lego.
Me? Nothing.
Yeah. I didn't want to say that, but that's what we've heard.
Nothing to do with those Lego pieces. All to do with serverless, unfortunately. Probably I'm the only guy who never orders any Lego pieces, to be frank.
You don't build Legos?
Yes.
Or you just steal them from work?
No.
Is that what you mean by
Important distinction.
Not as crazy as a few of my colleagues who, kind of get every new set that's out and, stack all them up. I'm not like that kind of. So, yeah. Okay.
All righty. So you guys had a session this week as well, right?
Yeah. Tuesday.
What were you talking about?
It's basically a continuation from the last reInvent when Danlo and I prepared a session to talk about the patterns, and I wasn't there, but Danlo did the presentation. So this is more like how we kind of speed up our sort of the serverless journey with focusing more on event bridge and step functions and how the team evolved and how we bring business value and things like that. So it was a kind of a half an hour is too short for me, my kind of talk. So. But it's okay. It's okay. I had good feedback from people saying about good things. So I guess kind of some message out there in the community, which is good.
All right. Awesome. Well, we love Lego, and always one of the favorite things I love to hear about the blogs. I love to hear. I have someone read them to me. I love the blogs you write. And I will have Polly read them to me because I love the thought leadership in a lot of the stuff that you write.
Did you watch Nico's session late last night or my time, but early morning today?
I have not had a chance to watch any sessions. I will. I promise you, I will. Yeah, but they're releasing.
So so nice of her. She pulled a couple of quotes from my. A couple of my blogs, and it was so nice to see that so the reach out there to take the message to the community. So good.
Yeah. Well, and I think I've even commented on a couple of your comments or blogs. I wish I had written this because it's some great thoughts. So
I know which one you're talking about. Is that the serverless for everyone?
I've commented on some of Jeremy's. I said, I wish you hadn't written this. So I do. No, I'm just kidding, Jeremy. Jeremy's just glaring at me right now. So
to be
it's
frank,
fine.
To be frank, Jeremy was the one kind of inspired me. The first ever serverless blog I encountered was Jeremy's patents blog. I even commented there. That was my first ever interaction with Jeremy. And I have, bookmarked your latest serverless Aurora V2 for my weekend reading. So there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes. So Jeremy, I want you to explain to folks, we're going to step out a little bit here. I want you to explain to folks what candlestick bowling is.
Yes. Yes.
Did I get it right this time?
It is candlestick bowling.
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So
now, before you start,
I'm
going to tell everybody, listen really close and see if you buy this. I don't think it's real, but Jeremy, please go ahead.
Okay. In the Northeast and apparently Canada, and maybe some small pockets of Michigan, something like that, there is a different kind of bowling that is not your typical big ball bowling where you have one ball with the 3 holes in it. This is actually smaller pins, right? They're very thin pins, and you use 4 balls instead of 1. And it's very similar to normal bowling in terms of you get end boxes and all that kind of stuff, but you don't clear the wood like the wood clears a normal bowling. So you can actually use the wood that's lying on the lane or use the pins that are laying down. You can hit those pins to try to knock down more pins, and you get 3 balls instead of 2. You get to roll 3 balls instead of 2. So it's a different way to think about it. Much harder than ball because the balls are smaller and the pins don't have as much action. But yes, I mean that is something that is an obscure thing that I do on Wednesday nights with some friends from high school, actually, from 20 plus years ago. But that's one way that we get together. And the thing about the bowling alley we go to is it's BYOB, so you can bring your own alcohol and then bowl poorly. So it's a